Hi, everybody. Hope everyone is doing really, really well. This is December 20th and all through the house. Oh, wait, it's not Christmas yet. We got 5 more days. Just want to give a shout out to everyone out there and out in Rumble Land. Wow, I've got a full house already. Sportsman 65, it looks like that you're from the same area as he is. And who is he? And I'll give an introduction, and he'll be popping in here shortly. So, no further ado here. Let me just kind of do a little introduction. I've got a lot of new people out there that are following me. And the first thing I want to say is welcome everybody to Turn the Page. I am Janine Steffens. I am your host, and our guest today is Mark Attwood, and we're going to get to meet Mark if it's the first time for you, or else you're going to see him again. Mark Attwood is host the podcast, the Mark Attwood Show. It's a venture in meat suit. He's been speaking out against the New World Order for many years since his awakening back in 1989 after he resigned from the RAF. During the COVID, his work as a poet gained international recognition, and he toured the United States in 22 as the only British representative to speak at all 17 venues in 30 days on the Truth Tour, too. His show has been banned multiple times on multiple online platforms, but he remains an apocalyptimist, I guess how you say that, believing that he is a spiritual war, that his human race and Gaia and are ascending to the higher dimensions, and those of us awake choose to come here on a rescue mission. And I so believe that also. His humor and the lack of fear are his main weapons against the demonic forces that wants the most of us dead, and he's 100% sure of the positive outcome for humanity and the universe at large. Either that or we're all dead. So you wouldn't miss him anyways. His poetry collection, God Wins Spiritual War Poetry 2022, 2020 and then to 2022 is only available on the markattwoodshow.com for anyone that needs a book so heavy it doubles up as a weapon on their coffee table. And so without any further ado, I want to bring in the one, the only Mark Attwood. Hello. How are you, sweetheart?
Hi, Janine. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad that you are here, and we've got a full house waiting for you out there. I just want to, before we start talking, I want to just kind of shoot over to your website, if you don't mind. I want to tell everyone so you can play it back again. You guys, you can play this back and just take a look. This is it's called the markattwoodshow.com. If any of my moderators are out there, please put the links. I provided them for you. And this is a great website. You can see all of his episodes, his shop, what he recommends, and his Freedom Club is out there also. And he's got a lot of good videos that are out there. I see Christine is out there. 7 Steps to 100 Times Your Money. Don't forget to take a look at that and grab a copy of it. We'll probably be talking more about this on his website. And so without any further ado, again, I'm going to stop sharing and come back to Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Janine. I'm just going to send a 13-year-old some money because it's school time.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea to do. Yeah. I'm going to turn up my sound here, and I'm also going to let's see if you could turn yours up when you get a moment. I'm going to also ask my moderators or anybody else out there in Rumble Land if you can hear us okay. I always like to do this before we get started, and it's a little bit of a delay out to Rumble. And let's wait a minute here. I see I've got a moderator out on YouTube right now. And let's see what we have here. I'm just waiting here. Okay, Mark, can you say something to see if I can hear your sound?
Hello. Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3 testing.
Very good. Yeah, could definitely hear you. Okay, good. So how are you? I haven't seen you in like months.
Well, yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? I mean, time doesn't exist, and it's just been going like that. It's yeah. Is it the same there? Because I don't even know. I don't know what day of the week it is most of the time.
Well, the Florida area, the times is always a little bit different from the rest of the world. But yeah, it has been crazy times, and we're here to have fun today, you guys. And that's what I said. The intro is that, Mark, he's a comic, and we have to lighten the energies, and we've got to, all that I could say is I made a short video out there the other day. Is the truthers just let go and let God, because I think they're losing who they truly are, and I'm seeing more and more stuff out there that we the people, the patriots, Americans, the people in the world don't need to see or feel the heaviness of the energy right now. It's coming upon us. We knew it was going to get here. It's here now. And all that I could say is be cool out there. Of all you guys with the biggest channels out there, just be cool. And nobody has all the answers. One particular spirit, soul, creator has the answers.
Yeah, well, together we have the answers. But what cracks me up is all the fighting. It's just like, it's hilarious. It's like, what's the most recent one? Cliff High and on Twitter with
Bo Pony.
Bo Pony, and then John Claude got involved the other day, and then Bo's going, "I'm blocking you because you don't read the same Bible as me," and they're all fighting about it. You don't believe in the Elohim. And it's like, oh, for God's sake.
And then there's Nino out there defending himself. All he's doing is like, here, all I could say is, Gil, be cool, Gil.
Well, everybody's just got to be cool because it doesn't matter. That's what's so funny. None of it matters. I mean, it all matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time. That's duality, and that's what we're leaving behind.
It's interesting because I find myself one foot in the matrix and one foot out. And I sometimes get pulled into the matrix. And it seems like right about now, the energy, I'm feeling myself being pulled in. So there was an announcement made by Trump last night saying that Colorado has removed him from the ballots. So you can't vote for him, but it's just part of the movie, and it's nonsense. So it's stuff that they had probably put out there for whatever reason, and we don't know what those reasons are. And that's what I'm trying to say to everybody. We don't know what the reasons is that's going on behind all these chess moves. And just be cool, be who you are, raise your vibration, do whatever it is that you do. Go bake cookies or create something. Just get your creativity flowing. And I know that that's what I've been doing.
Well, today yesterday I made my boys, my 13-year-old twins, a McSausage muffin, but made with proper ingredients. So it's like, because McDonald's is tasty, but it's evil, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna nick that recipe and make it nice. And today I'm doing fakeaways all week. I'm doing a KFC, which is made with organic chicken, buttermilk, and proper spices, all by me, and then baked in the oven. And it's just simple things, just that keep you amused and keep you going, keep you light, keep you frothy. Decorating the house, running around, having fun. Just got myself a thing for my bike. And it's not to say that isn't happening. I mean, even in this town in the west of Ireland, they're starting to really get annoyed, the people, because there's like 100 Somalians being shipped in to a house. This immigration thing is a serious issue because it's forced immigration and nobody knows what it is. And the politicians are saying, we didn't even know, and there's nothing we can do about it. And then, so all these Facebook groups popping up, meetings are happening, and that's really fascinating and terrifying for people. Yeah. And living with that on your doorstep at the same time as somebody like me going, keep it frothy and make fakeaways, it's all part of this spiritual adventure, because that's what it is. And that's what I keep coming back to. It's a spiritual war. Everything that's happening in front of you is there for you as an individual. And that's what this is all about. And the unity consciousness is unstoppable, which is why I said all of us together have the answers, but nobody has all the answers on their own. And I think
one thing that I'm kind of noticing, and you might want to touch upon this in the spiritual talks, is everything that's happening out there is actually there's so many pieces to the puzzle out in this this world, this universe, and it's also a reflection of what's happening to us on the inside. And a lot of people are connecting the dots to that. So, for example, everybody's like sitting on pins and needles waiting for the financial system to crash. And then what do they put on the news is that a current resident of the United States is basically in front of a Bank of America, which basically has nothing to do with America, if you guys don't know that, and it gets hit. There's a crash, right? So it's kind of like everything is a calm out there, and so that to me was saying that they're letting us know that there's going to be a crash with some of these larger banks that are going on, but spiritually inwards, there's other things that are happening for people financially. They're struggling. But we have to just basically just keep doing our envisions, if you would, and it just basically envision that we're in a place of just whatever it is, compassion, love, kindness, whatever it might be for everybody, and just try to get yourself out of the lower vibrational things, and that's all that we have to do is work on ourselves.
100%. I mean, the devil's job is to constantly lower your frequency, distract you, take you off your path, and all of these things. It's happened to me. It's happened to me my whole life, but it's still happening now. And even today, I was like, we have the power. Get thee behind me, Satan. We have the power. That's what we've been learning the last 3 years, is that we have the power. And but I'm reminding myself of it because it's still happening. But it's wonderful though, isn't it? I mean, you got this one foot, like you said, 1 foot in 3D, 1 foot in 5D, or even more dimensions. I feel like some of us have been straddling multiple dimensions the whole time, and it's been a real challenge to keep reminding people to laugh when they're in the middle of economic collapse and food shortages and toilet paper shortages and world war and blah 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 blah. I mean, I just keep coming back to the same thing. You're an eternal spirit. You cannot die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once you truly get that, what are you afraid of? And okay, you might be struggling left, X, Y, Z. Well, all the struggles that happen in your life are things that you personally need to get through. You need letting go of things. You've got to let go of ideas. You've got to let go of beliefs. You've got to let go of having fights on Twitter with people about the Bible. I mean, it's just ridiculous, really. But yeah, happening everywhere.
It truly is. And the thing is it's interesting. I think a lot of people have lost a lot of family members, friends, and stuff like that. We're the ones left behind. We're the ones. They're doing fine. I think they're all doing good. It's us that are hanging on to a lot of emotional things, and we have to honor the ones that have left. And we're going to do that, right? There's holidays that are coming up. There's so many ways to do that. The memories this time of year, Mark, are difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people, including myself, we lost at this time of year. We lost family members. And I think that's the toughest thing, is us that are left behind here on this planet, and where everybody else has gone back into their basically wherever they whatever everybody believes. I'm going to leave it at that. And so what we have to do is remember what, Mark, that we're left behind. We've got all this emotional ties to the people that are gone. But what would you say would be the one thing that we could do to help people get out of the funk that they may be in, missing their loved ones at this time?
Well, I realized a long time ago that death isn't a real thing. It's not what we think it is, right? And that has been the hardest part of the last few years. I watched my own granddad's funeral on Zoom because I couldn't get to it because he was punching people because he was locked up. Hi, Shelley Winfrey. How are you? One of my friends dropped dead 6 months ago, 38 years old, because he got. And I said, if you keep having these jabs, you're going to drop dead. And he went, yeah, and he did drop dead. And I had to go and see him lying like that. And I'm like, because all the way through this, I've constantly tried to keep things frothy and light and remind people that we chose it. We chose to be here. That's the thing. And when I first came across that idea, I was like, don't be silly. But it's true. And, and just keep working on yourself. Even after this, I'm going to go to see Helena down the road because she does bioresonance. I'm constantly checking in, keep doing things each day, getting the light into the system. I've opened the healing center. I've just had a cup of coffee with a guy that was nearly dead 6 months ago when he first came in. He looks 20 years younger, right? Because he's been coming every week into the hyperbaric oxygen that we've got, and we've got this quantum healing system, and we've fixed his water. And I've just been to the UK. I did my film premiere in Birmingham on Friday for the film about my tour in America. And when I came back, I brought back a load of Vortex bottles and methylene blue. It's just like these little bits each day are helping, and that's what I think that's how we keep our frequency high, and we keep the frequency high of the people around us, because I honestly believe in miracles, and I think what we're going to see when we get through this is going to blow our minds, even those of us that think we know what's going on.
I know. And you know what, the other day you talk about, I know that you do a lot of, I want to talk more about your business, and we'll get back to that in a minute there. I want to hear about your healings and all that. And I know you come on and talk about it, but I love hearing about, you know, what you just mentioned. But there's a day I just kind of noticed that Dana Garvey's videos are resurfacing, and he's coming out more, and I'm looking at him, and he's doing imitation of Biden. And I said, is he the dude? Is he?
Oh, no, he's totally. I was watching that the other day. I was like, he's Biden. Brilliant. Yeah.
I did too. I should find it out there, but I think I do have it if you want me to play it. And I just thought, holy cow, we kept saying it was James Wood. Some people were saying it was so-and-so. He's nailed it. And I'm going to actually just try to find that.
It might be all of them. I think there's 3 or 4 people playing Biden at least.
Yeah. Especially the ones falling up and down the stairs. That could have been Dana Garvey, but let me just see where I've got this.
That video is great. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I do believe I have it. I know I send it to a friend, Illuminati's immune system. No, that's not it.
By the way, you're looking younger since I last saw you. What have you been doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm still, of course, doing my shows and everything. I moved. I was living in Arkansas. I moved all the way down to the Florida area. I love it. The energy in Arkansas just wasn't for me. I was actually depressed there. And it could be the history of Arkansas, but I was right at the borderline of Missouri. Beautiful. We had the perfect setup, a house on the lake, and everything that people dream about. Let me tell you, it's not always what you think it is, you know.
Oh, no, I used to live in what I thought was my dream house, but then I found out it was right next to a load of Second World War bombers that had been buried and were still radioactive. There was also a war there in the 1600s, and that had not been cleared, and everybody who lived in this house, even though it looked fantastic, had died of cancer. So I got out of there pretty quick. You never judge a book by the cover.
Okay, I have this here. I actually sent it to a friend, and I'm just going to try to figure out how to get it over to. And I'm really bad when it's on my phone. It's on YouTube, so let me just try to find it that way. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. So we moved. It's been about 10 months. I've just been decorating the house. I got into making. I think the last time we talked, I think I was making a lot of things with epoxy. Pyramids and all that other stuff. And I go through a lot of different things. I don't really stick to one particular thing.
We're very similar in that respect.
And
I think this is epoxy. This is a nice piece of epoxy resin with stuff.
Yeah, I have mine, but they're out of reach. So let me just. Here's the one that I wanted to play for you guys. Let's just take a look here and present this. So yeah, he's been appearing more often than not, and it's funny that you just saw this one also. So I just thought, okay, somebody's putting him out there, and no, he's actually doing Biden here.
These things get put into the consciousness on purpose.
Yeah, let me just kind of go up here, and I probably spelled his name wrong, but excellent guy, and I'm sure.
Is it that one? Yeah, the second one. Was it that one? Yeah.
Let me turn up the sound 1 second. Let me get this queued up. Bear with me, you guys. I'm not the quickest one here. Let's see here. I'm just trying to find the sound on it. There we go. I hope that is it there. Let me know if you can hear this.
Grandpa offering you butterscotch from his coin purse? Yeah, right. But Biden came out as a really sleepy, sweet grandpa. He's always repeating the story. Yeah, went to Scranton. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania. My dad lost his job. No joke. I'm not kidding around here. No human being in the world thinks that's a joke. Doesn't even do the number thing. Number one, the one part. Number two, what the guy said. Number three, you know the drill. Come on. No, we don't. Now what he does is he kind of whispers and then he yells. He's like, we know how to get natural gas. We can't get it. We know how to get it. That's what we do. Get the people that buy the public, the Pirates of the Caribbean. Have you noticed it, Biden?
All right. Let me just stop sharing that. Sorry about the sound on it. I could not find where the volume was on this YouTube thing. That's pretty sad. All right, but we're back. And what do you guys think? Mark, I also wanted to mention to you that you won't be able to see the comments. All the people are out on Rumble. So if you open up another...
I've got the YouTube comments here. I couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one out there. They suppressed me so bad. It looks like 5 people.
I know.
No, just go on over to Rumble. Everybody, he's going to say hi to you guys out there. And,
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hi, guys. How's it going? Sorry. I've got some guy trying to sell me a course. Hang on. You know those guys who are like, I make about $10,000 a minute. You want to join me? They're so funny. 16 hours ago. That's the advert. I'm nearly there.
Sportsman 65 says, I guess he lives in your area or something like that. And I did a shout out to him earlier.
Who lives in my area? Which
Sportsman 65. You got to scroll all the way up. I think he mentions that.
Yeah, I can't find the video. Is this the one? Oh, God, they're playing an advert. Sorry about this, guys. I think this is it. I found us. Right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Sup, brother? Sportsman 65. I guess that makes him 58 years old. What kind of a sportsman are you? You know, mind you, I'm getting younger. I don't know about you, Janine. Are you?
I actually feel younger. But I also hey, you know what? I could probably do my little plug here if you don't mind. I got to do some of these things to pay the bills here. So that while we're talking about feeling younger, there's a promotion of superfoods, and everybody out there is using these, and I totally believe in it because of the fact that I feel really good, and it's taken away a lot of my sugar cravings. It's got to work on the salt cravings yet. I've got a little bit of addiction to Kettle potato chips and Kettle however they make them, but it's cut it down where I like the taste of it, and then I don't want it after a few of them, if you will. But so if you guys want to go over to my website, turnthepage.social, there's some discounts out there. And let's just see what I can throw out here as a brand for you guys real quickly. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let's just take this. Hey, everyone, this is Janine, Field of Greens by Brickhouse Nutrition. And that's how it's listed on turnthepage.social. Go on over and save at least 15% on your first order on turnthepage.social. Look under the Brickhouse Nutrition name. It contains an array of powerful fruits, vegetables, herbs, probiotics, and a formula that is one of the most popular produced by brands with over 2,500 reviews. And the Brickhouse Nutrition claims that it will boost the immune system, aid in body with detox and increasing energy levels, and support a healthy metabolism. The Field of Greens formula is vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and USDA certified organic, meaning over 90% of the ingredients with the formula are organic. This product and the brand that produces it certainly looks impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the formula lives up to the hype. As you guys know, I'm now taking it. It's been a few days, and I'm going to check in at the end of December and let you know how it's all going. So check out my Field of Greens and on turnthepage.social and save on your first time ordering it. And what exactly is the Field of Greens? So the first impression of the Field of Greens is a green formula, which are good, right? The branding on both of the websites and the product isn't over the top exciting, but everything is smart and well thought through. It's a nice touch that can be found on the website is that it offers an array of recipes for using the formula. The brand doesn't offer a huge range of products with only 5 other formulas. However, I don't think this is just a bad thing, as it's shown in the brand hasn't tried to expand into areas where this may have expertise and experience. Other products available include a sleep aid formula, multivitamin tablets, amino acids, and creative formulas. And whilst all the other products are popular, Field of Greens is the most purchased. There are a lot of other people out there that are endorsing this product at this time. And the serving size of the Field of Greens is 10 grams. It is a formula that contains over 25 ingredients. All these ingredients are certified USD organic, vegan, and gluten-free. And so it's okay, and we're back. So sorry about that, Mark. So there you guys go. Just go over to my website, and then at the bottom of the banner here, you guys can get a discount. It's great stuff, and I do feel much better. I don't work anymore. I retired early. Officially, it will be in March of 24, but I've got to find more things to do with my time, Mark. And all that I'm saying is I've got the energy to do it now. I didn't have it when I was working for corporate.
No, well, you won't, will you? Because corporations kill you.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, you say you got the salt issue.
Yeah.
Do you have Celtic sea salt in your water?
Oh, no, but I heard that that's great stuff.
But you got it. Everybody should. I mean, this is free, basically. I mean, with my water, I have a vortex machine here, which you can see spinning the water there, and that's got a copper coil in it, shungite pyramids, magnets. That recreates water. I put some methylene blue in it, and if you guys haven't heard of that, go and buy that book, because this stuff is game changing. And that's what we do with the healing center. Is we just take because the biggest problem is water. It's all about the water, right? And everybody's drinking shit water. And if they're not drinking it, they're bathing in it, right?
Yeah.
And the skin's the biggest organ. So, when people come into our healing center, the first thing we say is, what are you drinking? What water? Most of the people in Ireland know that this is the most fluoridated water on the planet because they tried to calcify the pineal gland, because that's your telephone line to God, and they wanted to cut that spiritual connection because this is a very spiritual, important piece of land in the world. And that's why it's been hammered for so long. And so we try to get them to get clean water, put it in a vortex machine, fill it full of hydrogen, and then never, ever drink water without putting Celtic sea salt in it, or borax, or some form of, can't think of the word now. What's that word? Electrolytes. Because if you drink water without electrolytes, you're actually dehydrating, and dehydration is the biggest problem all of us have. And once you start putting electrolytes in, it's a game changer. The salt they put in kettle crisp and chips and table salt, that's poison. That will kill you. 100%. The doctors are right about that. That will kill you. But when you start putting this stuff in and you start activating the mitochondria and the ATP and all of that and getting the minerals, because we're all mineral deficient, it's mind-blowingly simple. Mind-blowingly simple. I'm going to have a blue drink.
Yeah. So where's the, I'm seeing a Q crew out there as a moderator, and it says, needs the vortex bottle. Where do we get the bottle at?
You can get these. There's a friend of mine that makes these in the UK called Harry Rhodes, and his website is called onlyresultscount.com. I stock these in the healing center we have in Ireland, because getting them to, the biggest problem we have over here with America and stuff is like my book. I mean, if people buy my book, because it's so bloody heavy, the postage cost, it's like people are paying $100 just to get this book. In Australia, some people pay $250 to get this book because it's so heavy. But I refuse to put this on Amazon or have it on print on demand. Yeah. And the only way I could do it was printing. And somebody in the chat I want to say hello to. Where is he? I think his name,
Steal Star or something like that. Yes, the Vortex Battle, Skooky.
Sportsman. No, he's not a sportsman. I've said hello to him. No, there's somebody else here I wanted to say hello to. Oh, where's he gone? Buckshot. Is it Buckshot? 20?
Yeah, Buckshot is my co-host from time to time.
Yeah, well, is that a man or a woman?
That is a man. He is all man.
Where's he from? Because he said he's used this word that I use in this book quite a lot. Let me just see if I can find it. I'll find the most appropriate page just to.
Yeah, so Buck has done quite a few shows, and I love having him. I just wish he was available more often. People love him.
So there's a page out of my book.
Oh my God.
It's the only poetry book in the world with 27 pages dedicated to that word. And I just want to thank Buckshot for using that word in the chat. That's very nice. Thank you. But it reminded me, there was like, when I was on the tour with the Truth Tour last year, I think the second or third stop was in Oregon. And it's beautiful, absolutely stunning there. And I remember pulling up, and it was my favorite venue. It was like a wooden hut, like a community hut. And I was stood there at 8:30 in the morning going, who the hell is going to know me here? And then this big truck pulls up, and a guy pulls up. He's got arms like Bluto. And I'm like, shit, I'm going to get shot. Who's this? And then the window goes, fuck Attwood, cut! And I was like, I'm in the right place. Because everybody said nobody's going to get his sense of humor over there. But everybody who came to the Truth Tour seemed to, apart from a few people who told me off for swearing. And then I made the point, swearing is a cabal thing, right? Cussing, all of that was all them just to corral you. Like,
well, swearing isn't half as bad as what the cabal has actually done. So
no,
you guys
political, exactly. It's like people going rah, 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 rah. And I'm like, hang on. You're calling me a grifter? There's 22,000 children gone missing every day for 70 years. You're calling me a grifter? What? Oh, you're arguing about the Bible. Well, hang on. There are children in tunnels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's all perspective, isn't it?
It is. It is all perspective. You know what? That's an interesting point, because I want to talk about that. So, I put everybody in groups. I've always done this in my mind since I was like this young kid, especially when I got to high school, right? You got the cheerleaders, you got the football players. Well, now that we're all grown up and we're doing this whole truther thing, I always put everybody into different groups, and it's okay. The message is still the same. It's just however you want to receive it. You got the people that want the religious aspect to it, but they say they're not religious. But if you say a Bible verse, they're right there. Then you have the other people that are like the comedy, and they're right with Mark, right? Then you have other people that are doing the Om and Oz and whatever else, or flipping tarot cards. It's all the same stuff. It's all energy, you guys. It doesn't matter. That's why we can't hold any judgment, because at the end of the day, we're all getting the message one way or another.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it.
No. And if you want to stay asleep, you want to become a Rip Van Winkle and then wake up 20 years later, we'll be here. Hopefully we'll be here to tell you what has actually happened. But yeah, it doesn't matter. None of this. We don't need to sweat the small stuff anymore. We're done with that.
No, but that's what it's all of this is about, letting go. All of it. The spiritual quarantine. You've got to let go of people, ideas, notions, education. I had a meeting this morning with somebody who wants to set up a new school system, and I'm like, absolutely. We've got to do it now. This is the thing I've been getting all year. Is Q said something that said a lot of things that stuck in my head, but one line that really stuck with me is, you have more than you realize, or you have more than you know. I'm paraphrasing. And I keep thinking that. I keep looking around going, we've actually got everything we need to build the world we want right now. All we've got to do is ignore these idiots that are pretending that they're creating laws, which aren't laws, and just ignore them and build our own thing. And I think that's part of it, because I think the shift in consciousness and the shift in dimensions is actually manifesting in front of us. Now, I know that some people find that difficult to grasp sometimes, and I don't mean that in a patronizing way. I just mean that it's like, there's people like me going, well, I've seen spaceships, actual ships, and I've seen dragons made of light fly above my head, and I've seen elementals. I've been woken up by the fairies. I've had demons on my back. I've had the fuel line on my car. All sorts of crazy things happened, but I'm still here, and I'm still talking about it because, and even two people came to the healing center yesterday, and one of them said, I saw a dragon last week. And I was like, really? What was it like? And she could see, she described the dragon. So it was crystalline blue. She felt the energy. And that's what's happening. The veil is coming down, but I think the veil is inside us. And that's what's coming down. And so we're seeing the world for what it really is. But it's not, maybe it will happen in an instant when everybody sees it. But for a lot of us, it's kind of there. Most of us growing up know people, Mary down the road who can see the fairies and talks to the fairies, or Janine down the road who channels, Marilyn Monroe or whatever. There are people that have all these abilities and always have living amongst us, but basically all of us are going to start having all these abilities, and it's just like easing people through this process to save as many. Emmy wants to hear a poem. Okay, to save as many people as possible.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, it is, it's interesting because I think because of all the division that they created, the deep state, the cabal, whatever you want to call it, is because they knew that we are all multifaceted. We all have this, like you said, some people could see, when you, especially the children could see it all. And then when they get a little bit older and they send them off to schools, they just take it and then they say, okay, we will comply. They become robots.
I like the way you were doing that. He will comply.
And that's what they did. And I was always the little kid that would be looking around, not hearing anyone. It's great being a Pisces because Pisces know how to escape the best. And that's my birth sign. And so now I understand the reasons. Well, that's what I'm told. I don't know. I get so confused, Mark, when they talk about this is the calendar, but it's not the calendar. Take away 10 days, go this way, go that way. I'm just like, hell, time doesn't matter.
None of it matters, but it all matters. That's everything's dualities. There's always the opposite right in front of you, and it's like learning how to, it's like the same with the truthers. And you said it. Oh, this one's doing this, and this one's doing that, and this one's doing it. It's all there for you, and you're creating it because you're the only thing in existence. Go work that shit out.
Yeah, yeah. I think Amy is trying to reach your attention here. She says she's the crazy lady with the wheelies walkers in Clearwater, Florida.
Hi, Amy Boyd. Yes, I remember you. But I hope you're in my film. The film that we just had the premiere. It's really amazing actually to see that in front of people because that Truth Tour was amazing, and I'm really glad I did it. So it was really, and the people, everybody I met in America. I've said this a few times. I didn't have one single negative interaction with anybody. And that includes being in Minneapolis, where they were wearing Biden T-shirts and LGBT T-shirts. Even those people were lovely, and it's like these programs are just inside their head, but they're actually everybody's just. We've got to have compassion for everybody. That's why we've got all this division happening, is to teach us how to have compassion for everybody. I mean, I got a message from the children in the tunnels. There's a woman that I know that's been connected to them for 30 years, and they sent me a message saying, you need to have compassion even for the ones that are doing this to us. And I was like, well, that's a stretch, but yeah. But I understood it because we do, because those are the souls that need the most love. And we getting past this whole we're the pure bloods. I mean, that's what was going on for a couple of years. We're the pure bloods, pure blood dating sites. Unvaccinated sperm is going for $10,000 a drop. That kind of thing. And it's like, is that really the way we want to go? No, we've got to be there. It's either all of us are going to sort this out together or none of us. And I think that's the key to it, really.
No, it's unity. It's definitely unity. And I'm grateful for everybody that is in this chat here today, for all the moderators, for everybody that jumped in just to, to hear your voice. And, you've got a great vibration about you, high frequency, laughter, unity. There you go. It's definitely all about unity. So one of the things that we, like you said, I always say, let go and let God. And what does that mean? Is that we're not in control as much as we think we are. Another way of saying it, I said it earlier, is let go of the small, stop sweating the small stuff, and whatever the small stuff might be. Really, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, and you're, having a conversation with Creator, God, whatever it might be, what is most important? And I always say, more than anything, is helping humanity. Maybe not in this order. Obviously, everything on this planet Earth, and just love. Just basically, love is going to beat it, because they don't know what the vibrational love is. And you're right. Earlier, you made a statement that we have to carry on as if they're not in charge of us anymore, and that's the truth. Doesn't mean we go breaking all the laws and the rules. And everything else, and all these other ones. Gen X has been the most affected by this. Like you said, you were in Minneapolis. Did you know that Minneapolis used to be known in the United States as the land of the state of 10,000 lakes? Everybody used to go up there and bring their boats, and it was just beautiful, gorgeous. What happened to it was Obama brought in whatever he brought in across the border. And I think that's what we're dealing with right now. Honestly, I think everything has already happened, and we're just. And I truly believe that. So if you take a look at when was your state basically infiltrated by foreigners that were not legal, that's what he did. It's been done. So and also to the fear factors that are out there, we don't have to buy into it, but we can be prepared. we can all be prepared and have our own individual plan, and whatever it is that we think that we need to do to protect our family, friends, and neighborhood.
Yeah, well, there's I don't know if I told you this, but when back to the Truth Tour, but I think I was in North Carolina, and then there was a woman in the audience called Yete Turpinat, who's a healer based in the Appalachian Mountains, and she'd helped me 5 years previously because I was in a really dark place, and a friend of mine in Denmark recommended her, and she did this remote healing on me. It basically saved my life. And she turned up to this event, and we had a big emotional hug on the stage and everything. And she's hopefully still my friend. I'm not very good at keeping in touch with people, but she's an amazing, amazing woman, an amazing healer. And there was this day I was in the back of the car with Janine Morijo and Bruce and Natalie Poppy. And we stopped off for this Indian reservation, sorry, Native American reservation. I didn't mean to offend anybody if I did. And I stood there grounding with no shoes on. And this Native American girl came up to me and she just said, "My people say we are walking through a dream that we've already had." And then she walked off. And I was like, okay. and then I went to this gas station, and this old woman came up to me with a bracelet like this that had handmade, and she just insisted on putting it on me. And then she said a prayer from her ancestors to me. And it was a really beautiful moment. And it turns out she single-handedly in the 80s had campaigned against a nuclear waste dump on that reservation and succeeded. And she's like in the mid 80s, late 80s, and I just happened to bump into her, and she gave me this bracelet. And I got in the car and I said, this is like being in the Celestine Prophecy. You ever read that book?
Yes, of course. I read all of them. 3 of them.
So I said this right in the back of the car. And that's funny because the Celestine Prophecy, the book, was handed to me in a swimming pool in the middle of an artist's house in Sarasota in Florida in 1993.
Whoa, yeah.
Right? I was in this artist's house and she just said, "You got to read this book, Mark." And I was like, "Really? Why? And I read it. So I said, this is like being in the Celestine Prophecy. And then I get a text from Yete, who I'd met in Carolina. And she said, "Oh, Mark, my friend James Redfield wants to speak to you."
Whoa.
And I was like, we are definitely in the Matrix, you know? And then, and I'm going to speak to him. I've had an exchange. And I'm like, "James, what? How is this happening?" But that's the beauty of this. If you can get into the right frequency, things happen with ease and grace. But you have to believe it. I mean, I've been teaching people how to manifest and the law of attraction stuff for years, but the bit that's always missing, I mean, this goes right back to Think and Grow Rich, which was commissioned by Andrew Carnegie.
Yes.
When the manuscript,
I read that one also, Mark.
Of course you have. But when the manuscript came back from what's his name, who wrote it, I think it took him like 12 years to write it. I can't remember exactly, and I can't remember that. I'm not very good at remembering names.
It was a small
Napoleon Hill, right?
Yes.
So Carnegie took out chapters and said, "Right, we're not going to let them read that. We're not going to let them read that." And it's the same thing happened with The Secret when what's the name went on Oprah Winfrey. They tell you, and it's a limited hangout. The same as religion, it's all a limited hangout where spiritual beings having a human experience. So we have the Kabbalah are always like, well, let's give them a bit just to make them feel like they've got, they're being fed their spiritual nutrition, but we'll just leave these bits out, and they're the most important bits. It's a bit like the Council of Nicaea consolidating all the Bibles so that 2,000 years later, Cliff High can have an argument with Bowl Pony about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just hilarious, really.
Yeah.
Because all of it is designed for you to think here. But going back to the Minneapolis story, Yete then sent me a map on WhatsApp of the portals in America, which overlaid exactly where Lewis Herms had plotted out Truth Tour 2. Because he said, "I want to go to all the darkest spots in America," which included Minneapolis and all the Democratic strongholds. Right. And I got this map through on the phone. I said, "Well, that's the tour that we're in the middle of. We're touring all these portals." Didn't realize that until that moment. And that was when I realized that how important it is, everybody watching this, get together with other people that are awake, because when you do, you create this incredible burst of light, and there's nothing they can do to stop us, because we are God's children. And that light coming, that's what the whole 6 foot apart, don't hug, don't have sex, don't kiss. I mean, look at this nonsense came out this week. breathing is killing us. Is it?
Yeah, so everybody stop breathing, right? Oh my God, it's insanity at the highest precipice, if you will, because they're desperate, and the things that are coming out there. So people wake up if you're hearing something that just sounds like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It really is, and they're just, you know what? I have a thought on that. They're trying to measure how many people still are asleep when they put that stuff out there. That's the only thing that I could come to a conclusion on. And you know what? Like I said, sometimes it catches me where I'm actually believing something. I was, I had texted somebody that about Colorado trying to stop Trump being on the ballots. And then it dawned on me right after I did it, I'm like, oh no, there's, people could write in if that happens. You write in Trump's name, we the people, we have the power to do it. And that's how it's done in the United States. But then also on the other part of it, I was like, oh, this is just more bullshit. And I'm not going to buy into this because there's not going to be an election. I don't feel that there's going to be an election at this point.
How can that be?
Yeah. And I never said that before. And I was always kind of sitting on the fence with it. Now I'm just like, there's no way. And I think, I don't predict anything. It's silly of me to do that because there's always something. It's like, it's going to be ricocheted. Something's going to go somewhere. But all that I can tell you is that this is just a movie. It's all actors that are out there. And we just have to start laughing at this stuff right now. Mark, I know that you're a comic, and do you know that the comics right now are the biggest thing in the United States? I'm sure they might be out there. You've got Jim Brewer, who I never paid any attention.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's amazing. He's better now than he was younger.
Oh yeah, he's matured and he's talking about this subject, and he was the first one that really came out and did the stuff about the masks and everything. He was absolutely wonderful, so important. I mean, I'm still playing old George Carlin tapes and stuff because he had most of it banged on years ago. But watch it, a lot of my old friends from years ago. I stopped doing stand-up comedy 20 odd years ago, but a lot of them got blacklisted in the UK because they were the years before COVID because they weren't doing the message. So they were broke. A lot of musicians were broke, especially during lockdowns and stuff like that. But there's been amazing people like Dominic Frisby, who everybody should go and read his book, Life After the State. He's a comedian, but he's also a financial expert. Dominic Frisby, go and look him up, English guy, fantastic. And he's got this comedy circuit on a channel on YouTube, Comedy Unleashed, I think it is. And there's so I've interviewed quite a few comedians that have fought their way through. Abby Roberts is another one who got arrested for being outside the COVID inquiry, calling it bullshit. They arrested her, they put her in prison, traumatized her, but she still gets up and she's still being funny. And it's so important that people just get up and keep laughing and don't get past your fear of ridicule. And if you're out there watching this and you haven't, stood up and spoken out publicly, even if you feel uncomfortable about it, do it, because they can't stop us. And it's a numbers game, and they are losing. They've lost multidimensionally. They've already lost. I know that. Most people that I know that, but we've still got to see it play out. And I believe 100% that it's about standing up and doing something today, right? Because this is why I started the healing center, because I got extremely frustrated with people going, well, the RV's coming next week. I'll have £1 billion to set up a healing center worldwide, or XRP is going to be worth 10,000 quid next week or tomorrow. And I'm going to, or silver's going to go up to 10,000 quid tomorrow, or the med bed's going to be here. People are dying right now, right? What are you doing? What are we doing? We can't wait for saviors. That's what this is. That's why Trump had to lose that election. That's why we've all had to go through this. We've got to stand up now and do what we can today. Even if that just means smiling at somebody in the street, which is quite hard for people to do, that's enough, because that will spread light in and of itself. But if you can do anything else, get on with it. Do it. That's my message.
Yeah, definitely. And, that I keep telling everybody, no one's going to tell anyone what they have to do. You don't want to be told to do something. You just know in your heart. And so it could be the simplest thing, like you said, smiling at someone, holding a door open. A lot of people, they're more drawn towards the animals than human beings. And there's still a lot of cruel people out there that haven't woken up, and those are the things that still break my heart. If I could just make this statement, I think this truther community that we talk about and everything that on this social media, more and more younger kids are starting their own channels and everything, and they're just catching up to where we have been. I mean, when they sit there and they talk about something we talked about 4 years ago, I'm like, okay, that's meant for them to get the message out to the other ones. We've already been there and done that, but we have to still be patient because there's still a lot more lies that have to be told so that this doesn't happen again. And a lot of us would say, I'm just so tired. I'm tired of this. Well, then go find a hobby. Go find something to take up the time. And what what it is that you're tired of is you got to take a look at that. What is it that you're tired of? You think that your financial windfall is going to come into you and make your life happy? Oh boy, you're going to be still learning. You know, I talk about 1 foot in the matrix and 1 foot out, or whatever, in another dimension. It's not about the money, you guys. I don't know how many times to say this to you, but it's about healing, love, and compassion. And if you can help someone like Mark, you open up a healing center. That's fantastic to help others understand. Now, let's talk about the healing center. Are you seeing big shifts with people?
Oh, massive. I mean, so when all this started, because I was in hospital 20 odd years ago with a suspected heart attack, and I had to go through this whole. My own journey was like finding out, oh my God, I thought I was eating out. I thought I was healthy. No, I'm not. And I've got to work out what is the issue. And I'm not perfect. Never said I was, but I am very interested in trying to work it out. And that's what my show started being about. Like, you're talking about superfoods and greens here. These are important things to talk about because a lot of people don't like the methylene blue. This is cheap as chips. Go and get it and try it out. Read up on it. Do your own research. I'm not recommending anything. Just go and do your own research. And structured water. Structured water is easy to create. You could actually create it with a spoon and a bit of copper in a glass. But we just don't know that. They just kept all this stuff from us because that changes your blood in 2 minutes, which means that you're impregnable. What was the question? I'm baffled. Oh, yeah. So the healing center. So on this journey, yeah, I'll get there. I met an amazing woman in the north of Ireland who'd had an amazing healing experience with hyperbaric oxygen. Now, hyperbaric oxygen is oxygen under pressure. It was invented 350 years ago in the UK by a UK physicist in the 1600s, I think. And so the technology has been around a very long time. So when the cabal took over medicine with the Rockefellers 120 years ago, whatever, they couldn't delete it because it was been around for so long, right? So they sidelined it and turned it into just something for divers and stuff for the bends. But technology is advanced and it's a lot cheaper to get chambers now, which are inflatable. So anyway, I saw this amazing thing. And then a friend of mine who lives in the same town as me, who I'm doing the crypto course with, called Gary, we'd actually been talking about healing centers for 3 or 4 years. And one day I started getting all these messages from God basically to sort of start doing something. So I went round to his house one day. I said, we need to open one now. Today, because people are dropping dead now, and I want to help. So we did. We opened this up, 2 hyperbaric oxygen chambers in this small town in the west of Ireland. It's been a huge success. We have massive transformations. But the really interesting thing about it is that we set it up as a private members association, not as an LLC, not as a company, not as a limited company, not a PLC, none of that. So it's a private members club. And we run it on a donation basis. So nobody will be turned away. If they can't afford it, they have it for free. And this is blowing people's minds. They don't believe me. I said, don't just come in for free. I can't afford it. We'll come in for free. What? Yeah, it's free. If you can't afford it, it's free. What? They literally don't believe me.
I love it.
I bumped into one today. He didn't believe me for 2 months. And then he finally went in and he looks amazing. And I'm like, well, now you know. And because that has a ripple effect, and what the amazing thing about that I didn't foresee is that it's a way of treating people like adults, right? It's like an honesty box for eggs outside a farm. I mean, what kind of an arsehole are you to steal from the honesty box or steal the eggs? So it's down to you. This is what sovereignty really is. So you put actually somebody in front and put them in a machine and consult with them and help them and teach them stuff, and then say, well, if you haven't got any money, it's free, and we don't check. They go, what? And then they start donating, and then the whole thing makes money anyway, which is great because we've now just ordered the trifecta bed from the States, and we're the first ones in Europe to take this red light therapy bed. Because if you combine methylene blue, structured water, hyperbaric oxygen with red light therapy. You're activating the ATP, you're activating the mitochondria. People, these things don't heal things in and of themselves because that's all allopathic bullshit. What this does is just makes the body stronger so that it can heal itself quicker.
Yeah, and it's putting oxygen into all your organs, into the brain and everything. It's rejuvenizing you. Actually, I ran across somebody that was in my chat all the time, didn't know that she had this business, and she just got 2 more machines or something like that, which you've got. And she was telling me she's in Atlanta, Georgia, and the areas, the states, nobody has this. She says the NFL uses it. It's the elites that use it. So you know it's damn good.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing, right? So I was driving down to this healing center in the south of Ireland one day, and I was getting phone calls from people saying, I think I'd glibly mentioned maybe we should run a franchise one day. And I had 6 franchise inquiries in a week. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. I didn't even think about this properly. And then they were like, yeah, I want to open one and want to do what you're doing. And I was like, okay, maybe we should set up a franchise. But nobody's ever set up a franchise system, firstly, that's not about making profit. And secondly, that's set up as a private members association. But then it hit me. And whether I'm right or not, time will tell, but we have the potential here to open up thousands of decentralized, this is the key, decentralized, not controlled by government, not controlled by one individual, no pyramidical top-down structure, decentralized, independent, in the system but outside of the system, non-taxable and non-regulated, right? That's the system that we've set up. And what we're trying to do is using oxygen, hyperbaric oxygen, as the bridge to let everybody's welcome. Everybody's in. It's donation based. You've got no excuse. If you want to use in Ireland, they'd say, if you want to avail of this service, it's free. And you haven't got the money, it's free. And people just can't get their heads around it, right? And it's like, but it's so simple because we're giving the responsibility back to the people and then providing a service that's completely available for everybody if they want to use it. And that's, we've got 550 franchise inquiries. I'm holding a franchise event in 3 weeks here in Ireland.
Whoa.
We've got 4 of them in advanced stages. The only thing that's slowing it down is that we've got to rewrite agreements and stuff to incorporate common law and all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. And we've also built a website for people who want to raise money because they haven't got the money to do it, because it cost about $60,000 to $80,000 to do this properly. And because I've got a background in internet marketing and all of that, we will, this is my background. That's one of my books, digital marketing. This is what I did before COVID. Because we've got that experience, then everybody that we're using, again, we're like people like you and me used YouTube and Twitter and everything, their weapons against them. It's the same thing. We're using the idea of a homogenous brand to create a homogenous experience so that everybody like when you go to McDonald's, you know what you're going to get. It's all poison, probably dead babies, but you know what you're going to get. And it's the same with this. You're going to get, well, I've got oxygen, I've got red light, and these are the and there's lots of things we're going to go into as well. But we've got so many people that want to do it as well that it's actually taken over my life, which is a great thing because there's nothing more fulfilling. There's absolutely nothing more fulfilling that I've done in my life, apart from being a father, of seeing people come in poorly and seeing them a few weeks later after having this experience and just being rejuvenated, because it's not just physical, it's spiritual. Because I think one of the biggest weapons of the cabal has been to literally poison our cells on a cellular level and fill it with detritus and, needles full of things that do terrible things to you. And if we can remove those and get the cell structure correct in the body, hence the water, at the very least, and then clear out the detritus and then stop people with the sugar and the bad salt and the bad food, because the food is, also poisoned. I'm not going to get into that, but because it'll take too long. But these things all can have a huge effect. And we're supposed to live, the blueprint of the human is to live for 800 years at least. The Hunza tribe were, dying at 150 when they got discovered in the 1950s, naturally out of just old age, even though they're still being poisoned by the system, the world, even though they're in the hills in Afghanistan. So all of this is about health sovereignty, wealth sovereignty, sovereignty of thought, the being in control of your own thoughts, in control of your health, in control of your sense of humor and your dress sense. That's what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, the chat is just blowing up, and I was kind of distracted with it. A lot of people are just loving the information. So, are you gonna? Amy Boyd is asking, are you gonna open up a franchise in the U.S.? You plan to just start with one country and then move
No.
out?
We've got 5 on the go at the moment. I think two or three are in the UK. One's in Canada, Calgary, and one's in the States. I can't remember exactly where it is, but yeah, we've got loads. We've got inquiries from all over the world: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the States. We've got one in Japan. We've got some in Europe as well. We're just trying to get it all together, because we've got no. We didn't plan to put a franchise together, but this is a way of us combining without having that top-down structure. But as far as the public's concerned, it's like, oh, that's what that is. I know what that is. I can get that everywhere, and I'll just go there. And here's the beautiful part of it. My partner in that, Gary, he spent the last 8. He's a personal trainer that got decimated by the crash in 2009, his business. So he got into crypto, and he's 100x'd his money 2 or 3 times by trading. And that's how he has made his living, become a sovereign being before COVID. And I asked him to run a course on this for people, because imagine if you could get hundreds of thousands, millions of spiritually awake people with millions of quid in the bank, not from the RV, from their own, from their own sovereignty.
Yeah.
What would they do with it? Because they don't want to, like me, we don't want to buy Ferraris. We want to help people. We want to open up healing centers. We want to build places for kids to go that's safe. We want to, we want to do good stuff in the world. And at the moment, while we're still in a financial system, we have to play with that. So one of the things we're going to do with the franchise fees that comes in, once we've covered the costs of running the whole thing, is put that into a crypto fund and then 100x it. So if we can get, for example, 3 million quid in from 100 franchises, then we'll turn that into 300 million, and then start building hospitals, decentralized ambulance services, natural healing, natural birthing centers, which is something I've been very close to my heart for a long time. I'd really love to, because it all starts at birth, and birth at the moment in the West, at least, is a satanic ritual, because they're trying to take control of your soul from before you come in. So if we can fix birth and start creating natural, you remember that in the Matrix, I'm a natural born human, 100% natural. That's what we need to get back to, because then we won't have all this. People like me and you, Janine, you with your kettle crisp, me with the cigarettes. We've got all these emotional issues because we grew up in this satanic world with this heavy, dense thing. But where we're going, the kids come in, the kids that are coming in, the babies that are coming in now are absolutely stunning. And I'm getting my 13-year-olds are sending me Isaac Cappy videos of TikTok going, did you know this? I was like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you that since you was 4. But it's very exciting. And if I'm wrong, we're all dead. Who cares?
No, I think, first thing you should do is, because I see a lot of people saying Texas needs one. I just put up Buckshot there, said he would love to get something for his family. So these people are aware and awake. And if they know this is good, and actually Buckshot, myself, and somebody else is supposed to take a trip to Atlanta to see this other one that she's got 5-6 states that are covered because nobody else has them. There's a need for it. And I'm actually going to go and do a live show there. So I would love to pull you in on that show there also too. And but in any case, this is exciting information, and I think you're going to do fantastic with it. I think that maybe you should come back real soon and do a poll with everybody and see who's interested. How are you getting the word out once you get all the legal, the legal stuff?
Well, we've already got 500 people inquired, 550 people. So we're busy for the next 2 years at least, with what we've got. And what we're trying to do is get it right a couple of times, and then once we've got it right a couple of times, people can see, oh, that's working. Because it's very important, because I'm so pragmatic, right? I believe we're going to a place where we don't need food or money, but we're not there yet. We've got to, we're bridges. Like people like you and me are bridges. Here's a funny story, Janine. I've been going on about being a bridge because of Dolores Cannon's work for 3 years. Yeah. And I talk about hyperbaric oxygen being the bridge that pulls in the normies and everybody, right? Because everybody's welcome. It's all compassion for everybody, love for everybody. And guess what? The premises we built the first healing center on overlook a river, and it's on Bridge Street. And you look out the window and there's a bridge.
Oh, wow.
Somebody had to point it out to me because we were so it's the Matrix. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I love that how it all unfolds. And when we listen to you were probably subconsciously knowing you've seen it, but you didn't see it, right? And that's what we're all going through right now. It's a knowing of the unknowing, and I love it because that's what we're paying more and more attention to our intuition at this time. We have to. We can't trust anything outside of us right now. If we don't pull it in, and if everybody out there that's in this chat right now is getting hits on understanding Mark's technology, his basically could call it a med bed. You're getting in it, right? You get in it, you close it. It could be called that, but it's not the one that was put out there to make people think that they were getting on the mothership. So this is you could say, I guess you could say that it's still at the healing. It's the dynamics of it are at that level. But also it's completely different than I think that was told to a lot of people early on, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, I think that technology is real, but the way I am, I'm just like, well, where is it?
Yeah.
Anyone seen a med bed anywhere? and it's like this carrot keeps getting dangled, right? And I hate people that dangle carrots. I'm like, stop dangling the carrot. Give me something I can do now.
Yeah,
that's because I'm an Aries, I'm a rooster, I'm a pain in the butthole. Right? I have to get things done, and and
Aries, fast, now.
I know. I'm not great to work with. I wouldn't recommend working with me. But if you've got like if these things are real, if the RAV is revaluation of currency, there's people I know that have been following that for 30 years. I'm like, you started when you were 30, you're now 60. You're going to be dead by the time. Who gives a shit? What are you doing today? Because it's all about the present moment. Everything has always been about the present moment. Tomorrow doesn't exist. No point worrying about it. Hasn't happened yet. Yesterday's gone. Let it go. What's happening right now? What can you do today? That's the way I saw it. And that's the way I see it, which is why we've got this crypto course. I did a course 2 years ago on teaching people how to make money online because people are too suckling on the nipple of the state. Get off the government. It's a bad habit. It's an abusive relationship. Get rid of Stockholm Syndrome and start standing up and doing what you can today. That's my message.
Amen to that. If anybody is still relying on the government, you are really lost, because everyone, I had another guest on here, and they were saying you gotta, believe in yourself and faith and everything that's untangible, if you will. And some lady got really upset and said, that doesn't pay my bills. Like, give me something that's going to pay my bills. Well, change the way you feel about something, or change your mind, do something, that's different from the way that you have been doing it. And it's interesting. I think early on in the chat here, somebody said no fair, but they spelled it FARE. To me, that's not a good thing. We don't want to change the wording of fear, FEAR, at all. What we want to do is eliminate it from our consciousness at this point. Everybody is capable of doing whatever the hell that they want to do. You're all self-empowered, and you all have to understand that everything is a process, and it's not going to happen like that unless you're Mark.
Well, there's people saying in the comments, we are the med beds. I know we're the med beds. I know we are, but there's people at different levels of consciousness.
Yes.
And people they still need to see a brand, a door, somebody at reception, a machine to get in. I know that we can fix ourselves with our thoughts, right? But if you're in front of me and you're levitating in front of me, I'm like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's fine. But I'm helping these people over here, right? Who still even with the oxygen, there's people say, well, what is that? Is it any good? I say, it's fucking oxygen.
Yeah.
It's oxygen.
Is it any good? What brand is it? The oxygen. Yeah, that's something. And so what they need is a class on oxygen in the human body, right?
That's the thing. They don't know anything. I mean,
they don't. And thank God that you're here. Thank God that you're educating everybody here today. And so if you also want to take a look at it the other way too, is that, if people aren't going to believe that we are energy and spiritual beings having a human experience, take a look at how you actually manifest. And everyone's, don't send me hate mail here and tell me, oh, it's the environment that's killing me, or it's this or it's that. Your thoughts and your emotion and your feeling about how you feel about life is what's also bringing your body to a halt. And if you actually take a look, that is something that you have on a daily thought that's repeated over and over again, stop thinking, and then all of a sudden, hey, I can move my arms. I can move. You got mobility, right?
It's just a decision. And I know that sounds good. People say, oh, it's all right for you, blah, blah, blah. No, let me explain. I came from a very, very poor family. My whole ancestors go back to the Doomsday Book in 1080, whatever, and whenever that was written. Peasant, 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 peasant. When I was a kid, I looked out the window and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not working in a factory. I'm just not doing it. I made a decision. I'm not going to work in a factory. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to work in a supermarket. I'm just not going to do it. So I made decisions, and that's all it takes is a decision. And, I'm not driven by money, but I am driven by freedom. And
it's your intention behind your decision that is in your focus of your energy. Where your mind goes, your energy goes. And if you don't know that's the formula for manifesting things, you're going to have to rethink a lot of different things. And journal about it. If you're really stuck on something, get out the left and right brain. I mean, there's so many tools, Mark. I mean, I'm sure you talked about this many, many times. These are the basic things, but do we actually go back to the basics? Hell no. But then when we're in a situation where we say that this isn't serving me anymore, then we go back to the basics and we move through it.
Yeah. And what are the basics? I mean, it's the blueprint of what we are. And we're the man. Look, what I say to most people, whoever wants to listen to me, is that we're the creators, right? So we're fractals of God creation. We are creation. Why do you think they go to so much effort to destroy us? They have to get us to destroy ourselves because they can't do it any other way. But we can't be destroyed because they know more about us than we know. So that's why you've got mystery schools, and that's why
they know so much about us. They know when it's time for us to poop.
Yeah, I mean, Black Mirror here knows fucking everything, and I'm like, so I was with a meeting with somebody. They said, oh, maybe we should move that out of the way. I said, they know everything anyway. Who cares? I don't care who knows what. It doesn't make any difference anyway. I mean, but I think all of this is driven by consciousness. So I think there's an incredible technology behind all of this. We are in the incredible technology, by the way, but the technology is quantum, and that is the thing that's driving everything, including what information gets out, who falls out with who. Everything is kind of it's a giant chessboard. It's like billions of pieces on a chessboard, and we're all being moved about as is necessary to achieve the objective, which is this.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. God wins. And I think everybody knows that that's the foundation of all this stuff. But, at some point in time, we just have to say, I got to let go of all this shit and nothing really matters. I don't sweat the small stuff. What is important to you? Just write down your top 10 things that are important to you. And if you're interested in becoming a part of Mark's franchise, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, if you go to live5dhealth.com, there's a franchise thing there. You can sign up there. And that gets you on an email list, and then we've got a Telegram group, and then we just, we're holding a meeting, I think, in 3 or 4 weeks, and we're just taking it from there. It's a journey, it's a co-creating journey. We're the spark, but we're not. It's not about us owning this thing. It's not about us making money. We don't care about that. We just want to heal people, but we want to do it in a way. You see, I've seen a lot of great initiatives over the last 3 years that are volunteer driven, or they're funded by donations from the public. But as time's gone by, that's just going to go down. I mean, I've been in business for 30 odd years. That just is unsustainable. So you've got to create something that has a way of making money to keep it going, and then to expand it so that it becomes a place where people can get together, have meetings, meet in the private, that kind of thing, trade together privately out of this corrupt system. And that requires physical locations, and you can't expect people to just hold meetings in their houses for the next 30 years. You've got to actually create something that stands for something. So that's
Mark,
why
how do you create? How do you manifest? I mean, if you want to share that with us, or if that's very sacred to yourself, but I know that you had to foresee this somehow. You have to say, oh my God, this is great technology, just so that somebody else could, learn from you. Well, I'm just going to step away for 1 second, but I got to turn on the ceiling fan.
What's your dog's name, by the way?
Oh.
Who? Bo. Hello, Bo. Woof! I'm just going to speak to the dog. I nearly broke.
I had to turn on a ceiling fan. It's getting really warm in here. The sun's hitting the front of the house.
Well, lucky for you, it's getting cold here because it's Ireland. Well done for living in a hot climate. That's a very good move. Well, wise, very wise.
Yeah, well, it was perfect timing. It just all unfolded. It wasn't something that I planned, but that's what I mean. A lot of times when you're just using your intuition and you follow it and you don't know why. My husband thought we were nuts. Actually, after we made the move, we thought we were nuts, and I love it. So maybe I did it for me. I don't know. But anyways, how do you manifest things? And I have actually 3 dogs that are roaming around through here.
Well, I'm jealous. I want a dog, but I travel too much. I've got a cat, and that's and 5 children. That's enough for me for the moment. Anyway, manifesting is the best. I manifested becoming a pilot when I was a little boy, right? So I just dreamed about flying every single day. Even when I was in class at school, I was imagining myself holding the stick, flying, blah blah blah. Before I knew it, I was a pilot in the RAF, and that was my career path. And a few years later, I was like, I heard about manifesting. I was like, oh, that's what I've been doing my whole life. How did I do that? And you manifest shit at hello.
It's a West Highland.
What's that one called?
This one here, his name is Rizzo.
Hi, Rizzo. Is that like Rizzo from Greece?
No, actually, Scottish.
I thought no, Rizzo's like look at me, I'm Sandra D. With virginity.
I know everybody thinks that, but it's actually after Chicago Cubs first baseman when he was on the Chicago Cubs. He's no longer there. His last name was Rizzo. We were huge baseball fans, and now that they traded him, but we kept his name the same.
I'm just laughing because somebody's put a message. Old boy said, yes, it's all about the penis. What a brilliant comment.
I know. I saw that too.
It's all about the penis, okay? Distinction is all about the size of your dick.
Yeah, it's all about those statues that are planted out there in DC. What do they call them? Obliques or something?
Obelisks.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them all blow up. Manifesting, best thing I ever learned was affirmations. It's not my work, it's somebody else's. Instead of affirmations. So I used to take people through this process. I'd get a room of people together and I'd say, right, write down the top 10 things you want out of your life. And they go, I want to be rich. I want to be happy. And I said, well, none of that's going to happen. And then they go, what? How dare you? And I say, no. Well, firstly, you're not being specific. Secondly, you're saying I want it. So you're pushing it away. So it doesn't. So that's what happens. The universe gives you what you're asking for, which is I don't want it. Even though you say you want it, you're saying I haven't got it. So therefore it gives you more of what you want, which is what you haven't got. So
I'm grateful for all the money.
Yeah, so you've got to be specific, So I used to run a company in the UK a while ago, and I'd get people together in a hotel, and I'd say, "Why do you come to work? What do you want?" And I'd make it right down on the board in front of the rest of the team and the staff and everybody else. And I'd tell them that's not going to happen. What house is it you want? Why do you want to be happy? You unhappy? What is it that's making you unhappy? What makes you happy? Oh, you want a motorbike? Which motorbike? Harley Davidson. Which model of Harley Davidson? What size engine? What color? Be specific. And then they start doing that. And then you change. And then I got them to change it from saying I want or I'd like to have this to saying I am or I have. And then to supercharge it, you say, why have I? Question mark. Why have I got $10,000 in this account? Question mark. Why am I so happy? Because my relationship is working so well. So once you ask a question, the universe has to answer it. It's like, if I say don't think of pink elephants, immediately pink elephants comes to mind. So if you ask a question, it gets answered quicker, but you have to believe it. The problem is people don't believe it. They see somebody go on Oprah. God bless her. I hope she's enjoying the spa in not actually standing for president with anybody.
Pushing up daisies somewhere.
Oh, she's in
that's not even her. That's not even her.
I know, but it's just hilarious. But you've got to believe it, right? So then you have to fake it till you make it. So you write it down on post-it notes everywhere, and you just keep repeat it, because that's how they get us to create the prison. They just repeat and repeat and repeat. That's how mind control works. It's repetitive. That's why they put on these 24-hour news channels going, this just happened, this just happened, this just happened. And before you know it, you believe that that's just happened, even though you haven't watched it. You just heard it. It's repetition's the key. So you can reprogram yourself very, very easily, but you've got to believe it in your guts, right? Because the thing that people don't understand about embryonics is that the human body is formed from the gut. Everything goes off the gut. The legs, the arms, the heart, the lungs, the head, everything. So that's why it's in our language. I have a gut feeling, or I have a bad feeling in my stomach about this. It's all that we intuitively know this, but we have to believe it in the gut. And once you believe it in the gut, it happens very quickly. So
thank you so much. I apologize about that. I've got it's a 17-year-old dog, and then I've got the puppy Rizzo, and they're both males. And Rizzo doesn't understand that he's sick and he's ready to go. He's ready to pass over soon and whenever, but he knows that he's not well. And sometimes, when you got them in a pack, they attack. If one, and actually Catherine Edwards taught me that. I had 4 of them. I'm down to 3. All the seniors are basically leaving. And when little Rizzo was smaller, she's told me, I don't even know how it came about. I was talking to Catherine Edwards, but she said, remove the one that's ill from all the other ones, because they will attack it. And that's just part of their nature. I had no idea. So while you were talking, Rizzo was getting aggressive with the old guy. And I've seen him go after him. He's going after him more and more. And we know that we got to say goodbye to him, which is heartbreaking. But that's the reason why I was interrupting you. So manifesting is basically believing. And that goes back to Wayne Dyer's old information. You have to believe it. A lot of people say, I want to see it. That's the problem right now. Everybody wants to see it to believe it. And you've got to reverse that level of thinking. You have to believe it, and then you'll see it.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say Hula Hoop 9, fantastic. She's got 4 hyperbaric acrylic high pressure chambers, cold laser, infrared saunas, detox foot baths. I've got all of these in my house, you see. This is the other thing. I've got them all here, collected them all over the last 10 years. And I was like, and people started coming to my house. That's why this really came about. People were going, oh, how do you solve this problem? How do you solve that problem? I'm like, well, am I a doctor now? What am I doing? Like, I got the cure for cancer in my kitchen.
Well, this is the one I was talking to you about that's in Atlanta.
Yeah,
fantastic. She's the one that, and I had her on here. We talked briefly. I'm going to have her back, but I'm actually going to go do a live show sometime next year with her, because I want to see this. And
go down,
and then if people want to do the franchise, they're going to contact you.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I've been in business for 30 odd years, and we used to protect. You get an idea, you protect it, protect the IP, this is all open source. Nobody has to do this franchise. Go and do it yourself. It's just together with the marketing, with the crypto funding, with the team of people that we're collecting together. I mean, we're talking about there's some amazingly big names that are interested in this, what we're doing, and keeping a close eye on us. And I'm trying to create a panel of awake, doctor qualified level experts who know what's going on to be there, not to be like in charge of it so much, but more like just bring wisdom, because we need to get back to having a council of elders, and when there's a bit of wisdom going around, and not just to make sure that we're checking each other's backs and stuff, because it has to make money within the system in order to and that's the great thing about hyperbaric oxygen. Because I'm a Google SEO internet marketing expert for the last 28 years or something, there's 1 million people a month right now searching for hyperbaric oxygen therapy worldwide. That's big demand. But you bring out a new therapy that nobody's heard of, there's no demand for it. There might be a surge of demand. You might come on my show, there'll be a surge of demand, but then it drop off again because people it's not there in the, in the general populace. So you've got to have something that works as a business in order to get people. So, for example, we've got an Orinoco wellness pod, right, which is based on the work of M.T. Kesh, the Iranian nuclear physicist, who basically is photonic light. So it's the light of the sun captured with salt water, with strips of copper, and 3 of these you sit in a chair. We've got a whole room for this, and there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and you sit in it, and it creates a life force energy field that interacts with your consciousness. Now, how do you go and explain that to Bob down the pub? He has no idea what you're talking about. But you sit him in the chair, you get him in with the oxygen, then sit him in the chair, and he has this amazing experience. Whoa, now we're talking. But you can't go out there as a business with a wu-wei thing, because you have to have sustainability of demand right now in the world that we're in. So that's where the pragmatism comes in. We create something that has already a pre-established demand. Yeah. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's why the oxygen's the bridge, right? And then when they come through the door, then we talk to them about the water and all these crazy ideas and see if we can help them with that, because then that accelerates their healing, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's a protocol. It's a protocol that you have in place, and it's just it starts with one, and then it sounds like you've got something for everyone, and it may not work for one person, and other things will work for another, but it's healing in general. Now, I think that's fantastic. I love it. I can't wait to hear more and more about this. And Mark, we need to have you back on here more. So it's interesting.
I've not been doing many shows recently because I've been so busy and redecorating and blah blah blah. But I did promise you, so I was very pleased to do this because I think a lot of you. And
thank you so much. Yeah. So another truther out there was actually asking me if you were in Vegas when I was with them, but no, you were on the next Truth tour after that one, and that's where I met you. Was in Benton, Arkansas. I lived there at that time, and I no longer live there. But
that's where we met John Wayne.
Yes. Oh my God, was that a big guy or what?
Oh God, he was huge. That was John Wayne.
And my husband is 6'4", and he towered over my husband.
Well, I was next to him. I was penis height. I was blowjob height with John Wayne. Get off your horse and drink my. Anyway.
Yeah, he came up to me after I did that awkward speech with you. Thank you again for helping me through that. But he came up to me and says, I want to have you on, or I don't know if he's got his own channel or whatever. I never heard from him again, but that was okay. But I got to meet you, and I didn't know who you were until you put your glasses on, and you realized that.
It's like Clark Kent in reverse, isn't it? I walk into the venues like this, and people will be like, yeah, who's that? And then I go like this, Mark!
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, because you walked past the table. I looked up, I was like, oh my God, it's Mark. And my husband's sitting there. He doesn't know anybody. He's just like, okay. All right. So let's see here. So we're into this about an hour and a half. I know your time is really precious.
Yeah, I've got to shoot actually, because I've got to go and see my bioresonance healer friend, Helena Fleming, who's been on my show. She's going to do, she has these amazing things that you hold on to, and then the machine says blah, 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 blah. And then she uses homeopathy to program it to give you all the things that you need. So it's just like a check-in. But
yeah, I love all that stuff. It's basically they're taking all the frequencies and they're putting them into technologies, and they're telling you what's off or what's on and everything. This has been around, but it's been suppressed. Now it's all gonna. That's why I'm telling everybody: if you're interested in a franchise, if you're interested in doing something, now's the time to start planning for this.
Look, who's this guy? Who's this guy here? Oh, you won't be able to see it. Let me get you.
I can't see it.
There he's there. Anyway, he's there. This is my head. Look, I can't. There he is. That's Royal Raymond Rife, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Royal Raymond Rife was healing people with frequency 100 years ago. So what do? Tesla scalar waves. I've got a Tesla. Where is it? I've got a violet ray machine here that is just amazing. These things are 100 years old.
Yes, they are. It's nothing new. It's new to the people who haven't heard it before. But God bless you, Mark, for being here. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and all your wisdom that you bring us. You're just you're just love. That's all that I can say. And
I'm not sure that blowjob jokes with John Wayne can be construed as wisdom, but thank you and God bless you and happy Christmas to everybody and everybody watching.
I don't know what to say after that.
I'm always getting told off, but I don't care.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we love you, and Happy New Year, the best New Year that's coming to all of us, and I can't wait to hear more things that you're doing, and I'll try to reach out to you and book you further out, but I know that your time is precious. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, actually, I think it'd be really nice, because if you feel like it, playing my poem, The Best Is Yet to Come, to end this off, because that's a really positive way to.
Yes, let's do it. I love it, and everyone's been asking for your poem, by the way.
Well, I'll have to find it first.
Okay. No problem. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to join TTP Coast to Coastal. Let me just put this up here right now. That's my new channel that hopefully won't get suppressed. I don't know if you guys are on that, but let's just let you know. Please go over there and on YouTube and sign up for it. Here we go.
All right. See you later, guys.
The best is yet to come. In the days of future past, we'll look back on the storm, when the world was wearing masks, when America was torn, when 5D chess was played with such finesse, when criminals floundered and were left to guess, Their codes were broken, their weapons gone. Flynn's digital soldiers marched to the song of QAnon. The song of freedom, the song of love, the song of unity from heaven above. When once we stared down the barrel of the gun, one man proudly said, "The best is yet to come." We gathered closely in the end of days, fighting for our rights. When this virus washes through, it'll be like a burst of light. With golden hearts we raise the earth into the Aquarius age. Phoenicians gone and demons run, we broke out of our cage. King Cyrus rose to take the fight to the fiends of Babel once again, removing fear and usury, the chains that held down men. The song of freedom, the song of love, the song of unity from heaven above. When once we stared down the barrel of the gun, one man proudly said, "The best is yet to come." In the time of revelations, the devil's hand was shown. His heinous crimes against mankind finally were known. As the great awakening gathered speed, as the veil did turn to dust, new heroes forged and laws were made that finally were just. From Guantanamo Bay to the last hooray, the serpents were all done. The shots heard round the world, and the end of Babylon. The song of freedom, the song of love, the song of unity from heaven above. When once we stared down the barrel of the gun, one man proudly said, "The best is yet to come." In God we trust and trust the plan. Our faith was tested hard. We held on tight to the might and ran the final yard. The looking glass, it showed the way when everything seemed lost. Survival of the human race at monumental cost. The storm it came, and when it did, you said it was upon us. We held the lights for the golden age, a manifested promise. The song of freedom, the song of love, the song of unity from heaven above. When once we stared down the barrel of the gun, one man proudly said, "The best is yet to come." The sword of the Spirit and the shield of faith, extinguishing the arrow's fire. Finally, the sons of Cain laid on the funeral pyre. Bittersweet the victory was. In righteous grace we thanked you. We raised our heads and looked ahead to sovereign times anew. The quantum era and Tesla's dreams finally found their way. In fireside talks far in the future, we know our children will say, the song of freedom, the song of love, the song of unity from heaven above. When once we stared down the barrel of the gun, one man proudly said, "The best is yet to come."
Fantastic. And it looks like Mark has left us. He may not have done that on purpose, or maybe he did. I want to let everyone know here that I'm going to have Mike Penny on here tomorrow, Michelle on Friday. Next Wednesday, Carrie Cassidy and Patriot Underground together. We're going to talk about the current events. And then on Saturday, we have Buck is back. That's on January 6th. And on the 10th, we have Dr. Artis that's coming back. Love to all of you guys. Wish you all a Merry Christmas and, of course, a Happy New Year if I don't see you before then. But please tune in to Mike Penny's show. We'll be here tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. We got a surprise for you guys when he comes on here. And I believe he's going to be on here at 10 o'clock Central Time. Hope to see you guys again. And love to all of you guys. And remember, we got this and God loves you. And take care. And now we turn the page.